What you have before you tonight is a request from the Latah Recovery Center. Daryl Keim, the Executive Director of the Latah Recovery Center, is here to request participation in the amount of $4,500 for construction of a confidential or semi-confidential conference room within the Recovery Center. The council, this came forward. The council en masse attended a breakfast benefiting the Recovery Center almost a month ago, and at that time the city was requested to participate in a donation for the Recovery Center. In lieu of that, Mr. Keim came forward with his request for participation in the conference room and sent the letter that you have in your packet. This is similar to the request which was funded by the City Council toward the Sojourners Alliance to assist in a project to assist them not only with getting back on their feet and getting funding in order to go on, but also to help them with, I believe it was, the remodel of 2 bathrooms, as I recall, several years ago. So with that, I'd ask Daryl to come up and address the council, if you will. This, by the way, would be proposed to be funded from non-prioritized projects in the legislative budget, which currently has a balance of $15,000 in it.
Okay. Daryl. Good evening, Daryl.
Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, do I need to say my address?
No, I guess so.
617 South Logan Street, Moscow, Idaho.
Thank you, Daryl.
So I am the program director of the Latah Recovery Center, and for the record, I am having a major donut craving.
Oh, I love cake.
About donuts like that, not have any. So Gary really summarized it quite nicely. We opened September 1, 2015, and since then we've had approximately 10,000 different customer contacts. That's not 10,000 different people coming through our center, but it's 10,000 with a lot of repeat people coming through our center. So my point is we're well used. And one of the main things that we've heard from folks as they've come in has been that they would like to see a semi-private meeting space in addition to our wide open floor plan. You know, we're not completely anonymous there, but people like to have the option of feeling somewhat anonymous. So identifying that, we had built, and yes, it is already built, we took a leap of faith that we would find the money, and we put in a couple of walls in the back with a window, so for safety purposes we don't allow any truly private places in our facility. And I have to say, it's been built 3 weeks, maybe a month now. It's really popular. It's probably the most used space now that we have, in fact, is the semi-private meeting room. But that's it. It's a semi-private meeting room for folks that want to have more anonymous meetings than the wide open space, where you can still have anonymous meetings there, of course, but some groups are more anonymous than others. Let me just put it that way. We have a daily Alcoholics Anonymous group meeting. They're what's termed an open meeting. And for those of you that know about these types of groups, they have open meetings, they have closed meetings. An open meeting, Joe Public can even come into and see what they're all about. But other groups might not want to be an open meeting, and they didn't have that choice in our facility until recently.
Well, Daryl, you know, every one of these counselors are sitting up here, as well as myself. We're at the recovery.
I'm absolutely aware of that.
And I think that everybody up here, and this includes myself, appreciated what they heard and the involvement that the Recovery Center does and how important it is to this community. So, questions for Daryl? John?
I don't have any questions. I'm fully in favor of this.
I like you, John.
I may be knocking on your door one of these days.
I'll bring donuts.
I know I would be welcome if I showed up. But I went to the breakfast last year. I went to the breakfast this year. And the increase in the number of people and the demographics of the people that showed up was amazing. And the Recovery Center has been accepted, I think, by the entire community and will become more accepted as time goes on. And having the ability to have meetings where somebody just can't walk in because people are discussing personal items or whatever is good. And I think if we've got the money in our non-prioritized budget, and they're asking for $4,500, I would move that we approve the funding.
I'll second that.
Okay. We've got a motion by John and a second by Gina to approve the one-time funding of $4,500 to Latah Recovery Center and to take it out of the non-prioritized budget.
I was just going to comment one other item that strictly in a cold accounting sense in terms of cost to benefit. The funding that goes in at this meager amount clearly saves the community far more than that in other services between the law, the courts, the hospital, neighbors who might be impinged on by people otherwise. And so I think it's money well spent for the community at large.
Agreed. Okay, we'll start with you, Art.
Aye.
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 All right.
Thank you, Daryl.
Thank you.
$4,500 for the Recovery Center.